Hi, my name is Noel Davis with World Composting, and today we're going to do an update on the urban worm bag that I have going with the European night crawlers. This is the second edition, and I have links down below to purchase this off of Amazon, so take a look if you're looking to get one of these. Now let's go take a look and see how the bag is doing. Alright, so here's our urban worm bag. Let's open this up here. See how it is doing. A little dry here on top, not much moisture at all, so this is definitely going to need moisture. This also feels dry, so no, I know we're going to need moisture in here. So I'm going to just take this off and put this to the side for now. And then let's just dig down in here. Okay, it looks like just past the surface it is moist, but this cardboard on top doesn't have much moisture to it. A little bit of food left in here, some carrots. Just dig down in here. This is one of those food rolls that's gone, or it's just the paper left. Trying to dig up a little bit off these sidewalls. Nice big worm here. So you can see him nice and clearly right there. Nice big worm. So these are those European night crawlers. That's just another piece of paper. Overall, this is looking pretty good. The material here again looks good. That looks like a juvenile right there. So that looks like an older worm. You can see worm. You can see the banding on there a little better. So it looks like they are multiplying in here still. They look nice and healthy. Just kind of dig up these edges a little bit. This is one of those things with these the urban worm bags and these bag systems. You really need to make sure that you kind of dig up these edges so that way they don't get compacted. Because what can happen is if you're throwing everything in the middle tends to sink down, but these edges, they can get really packed in there. But look at that, nice healthy worms here. A couple really large ones, especially right there. Very active. Looks like they're really, really healthy, these worms. This is a good system right now. So this is working incredibly well. Let's just dig up this side right here a little bit. Same thing, even more worms. Nice, healthy, active worms. So they're doing really well in here. There's still a little bit of food, but not a whole lot. Another worm right there that looked nice and healthy. A little bit of paper and bedding left. Not a whole lot really. So I think what we're going to do is, first off, I think we're going to kind of move some of this to the middle here. Again, nice material in here. A little brown because of the fact that I had a lot of cardboard in mine, but it's really nice looking material, really nice feeling. Just dig over here a little bit. Again, more worms. So actually there's a really young one right there on my glove. So that's a real juvenile right there, really young worm. I'm trying to see, I don't see any cocoons. Another really small one right here on my glove. That's a juvenile as well. I'm not seeing any cocoons though. That's okay though. So let me just dig up this corner a little bit too. I seem to really like these corners where there probably is a little bit more moisture. But it looks really healthy and the material in here looks really good. So we're going to keep going here. Just going to kind of move this around a little bit, make sure it's all nice and loose. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to feed on one side this time. We're going to kind of dig up this side right here a little bit to add our food. We're going to add quite a bit of food here. I've got a lot that I've been trying to get rid of out of the freezer, and also some fresh food from my shredder, or my blender, sorry. So this is from my, I should say not blender, juicer. So I'm going to put that over here. And that's a mixture of carrot, spinach, celery, and apple. And we're going to kind of move this around a little bit here because this stuff is really, we're going to mix it in here. This stuff goes pretty quick with worms typically. You can see one of my other videos, I can link it up above, where I show a top-down view of them just eating through this type of material. This is, when you have it ground up this way, it works really well to get the worms involved because it starts breaking down a lot faster than when you have just piles of food. Now, because of that, I am going to add some other food though, because I don't really want this to be gone in a couple days. So what I'm going to do is on this side, I'm going to add different food. And this is, well, similar, but this is frozen. This is from, actually, you know what, I'm going to add a little paper in there to also protect the worms here real quick. Hold on just a second here. So we're going to grab some, I've got some shredded paper over here. I'm just going to kind of sprinkle that in this area. And that's just going to protect the worms a little bit from the frozen food. It should thaw quickly. This is all pretty lightly frozen, or small pieces that should thaw quickly. But this has carrot, some celery, or not celery, it looks like lettuce in it. So this is, and banana peel, some peppers. So we're just going to break this up over here and put this on this side. So this is not broken up nearly as much. I'm just going to break this apart with my hands a little bit. It makes more sense if you break things up, things will break down in your bins a little bit faster. So the more they're broken down, the more surface area they have, the more the microbes can get in, and the more worms can get in too. So there we go. That is done. I'm going to put a little bit of cardboard on top, or paper on top of that. Bring over a handful and just spread it around the top. Then what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put some material on top with the worms in it, and that way they can work their way down into it. Now, the last thing this thing really does need, and I already have this ready to go, is some water. It really needs some water in here. It's really dry, and water is an important part for worms because they breathe through their skin, and they need that moisture to be able to breathe. So we're going to wet this down quite a bit here. I've got my sprayer here, and you know, this is important to do when you've got worms. As you can tell, the lid here is just 100% dry. It's not a bad thing, but you want to make sure that there's enough moisture for them to breathe through their skin. So, I'm going to add in more moisture here. See if I can pump this a little bit more. All right. This is going to soak down through the paper. I'm just going to make sure that there's enough moisture in here to kind of resaturate some of the paper that's in there. We're going to put our cardboard box back on top here. But first we do need to make sure that this is nice and wet. And hopefully they'll start working at this stuff pretty quick. This stuff on this side right here they're really going to start working through it very quickly. This is going to be gone probably within, I want to say, 3 to 4 days. This will probably last a few weeks. I like to try to make sure that most of the food is gone before I start adding more. And this might be ready for harvest from the bottom. Maybe next time we'll check it out and see if it's ready to go. So I think that's enough water. So I'm going to put this down, and I'm going to grab the box that we had on top again. I put these boxes on top just to kind of reflect some of the water back in. It kind of hits that, you know, it's the humidity causes the evaporation, hits this box, and will collapse back in, or at least saturate the box and keep it a little bit closer than this lid will. That doesn't mean it doesn't get some on here, but that it just kind of keeps it a little closer to the bedding material. So that's my update for this bin. I think it's been a couple weeks at least, or maybe 3 weeks since we've done an update. So it's doing really well. Lots of multiplication of the worms in here. It looks like they're really moving all throughout the bin, as we saw them in all corners as we went around. And that's my update. So please like my videos and share. And if you can, please click on my links down below that are paid affiliate links from Amazon or Urban Worm Bag Company to buy one of these if you're looking to purchase. And thank you for watching.